All right, everybody. So we're here to talk about dating in Kenya. You clicked the title, so you know what this is about. This is Bobby. It's Kid Greatness on YouTube, and I'm going to make the whole interview about him, and I'll just give a super quick introduction. This dude, what do I always call you? Striker.
Yes,
right? There was a one night where I saw like a beautiful girl in the club, and I was kind of like making excuses. I'll talk to her after my first drink, this and that. This dude shows up. I'm like, okay, I know I better go in, because she was one of the baddies in the club, and I knew, okay, if this dude's here, I've never seen you delay longer than like 10 seconds to talk to a girl.
Yeah.
And I know you did really well in the States, but we're here to talk about Kenya, and that's just my quick introduction. You make videos about like how to come to Kenya.
Yeah, how to come to Kenya, traveling the world. Yeah, just being a whole expat, digital nomad lifestyle.
Yeah, and of course dating, which you're definitely an expert on. And we know that you used to do some stuff with pickup in the States, but whatever. We'll talk about that later, maybe during the interview.
Yeah.
First thing about Kenya, the first question that I have, and the thing that's probably on everybody's mind is, if you're going to go live all the way across the world in Africa, most of our audience is in the States or the Western world, and like pick up your whole life and go to Africa, there better be some bad bitches there. So what's the beauty of Kenya? What's like the average like beauty of these girls here so far, you think?
Yeah, Kenya has a lot of baddies. Like, their perfect profile, like they're in between Uganda and Tanzania. Like, they have the slim, thick profile. So if you like slim, thick chicks, they're here. Like, oh my God, there's so many of them here too. So on average, I would say, like, if you want to give me a rating, like,
sure, yeah, because you're pretty well traveled, right?
Yeah,
You've done a ton of Latin America, but you've done Asia,
Europe,
and you're from New Jersey.
Yeah. So, like, okay, I'll say, like, the average baddie here, like, the average woman will probably be, like, 6+. Like, if you want to go to slate queens, I would probably say 8. But you have to be really attracted to dark-skinned women, because the majority of women here are dark-skinned. You're not going to find a lot of, like, fair-skinned, red-bone chicks here. They are here, like the Ethiopians, the Eritreans, and the Somalis. But, like, I'll say on average, they have, like, a bad chick. So I'll say probably, like, at least 6+. But if you really love dark-skinned chicks, probably, like, 8+.
Yeah, I'll second that. So one thing that I always talk about with Austin, I think I mentioned this with you, is I can't help it. My penis is racist. So Asian chicks, white chicks, super dark-skinned black chicks, he's never going to be fully satisfied unless it's Latinas. Again, my penis is racist. Take it up with him, not me. We're two separate entities, and Latinas are my thing. But I'm definitely getting along with these chicks really well, and I could definitely vouch for the slim thick thing. We talked about how like gym culture hasn't taken over like so much here, so there is a little bit of like thick and maybe even like a little bit too thick. But Kenyans are athletic too, I think, by nature.
Yeah, like, actually, like, I feel like Africa, like, women have some of the best genetics, because, like, you have all these chicks here, and they've never been to the gym before. Like, some of them had six-pack. Okay, some of them will be a little bit more thicker, but, like, genetically wise, like, their bodies are ridiculous. Like, you would walk around and your brain would hurt for some of the chicks you would see here. Like, the chick, we're actually in a nice restaurant, and I saw a chick. He said it looked like she had an ass on stilts.
Yeah, we called her the ass on stilts. She's one of those, so... Again, dark-skinned black chicks aren't like my number one preference, but I have to admit, we saw some true, I mean, they were like 8.5s, 9s, and I was bitching out the whole time. And again, Striker, he actually eventually went in and got the number. Yeah, he looked like an ass on stilts. She was just built like a video game character, like weird, like it didn't even look human, but in a good way.
Yeah, and this is the crazy part about Kenya is, like, women here like that are very open to being approached. Like,
yes.
Like, honestly, I feel like I have like a 90% close ratio, like, well, getting a number, like close and getting a number. Like, most of the chicks here, like, it's not even a thought. Like, because me personally, I don't have approach anxiety. Like, I've done thousands and thousands of approach.
Zero.
So, like, I just be on that. And then, like, here, they're so inviting. Like, you go over there, like, hey, it's like they're always the invitation for you to come and talk to them, which is why I love Kenya.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because who gives a fuck if they're beautiful? You could find beautiful girls in, let's say, maybe Los Angeles or Manhattan, but those bitches ain't about it. They're stuck up. They're American women. They're masculine, and they think they're too good for you. If you're not 7 feet tall and make 7 figures a month, they ain't fucking with you. But out here, it's completely different. And that was going to be, my next one. What is your success rate on an approach? You said basically like 90% getting the number, and I vouch for that, because I've seen him do it. I call him the Striker. He's like the Marines. He is the first line of attack. He is the front line.
Yeah, like, and this is you made a good point, like, because I grew up in the New York metropolis. Like, those chicks there are so aggressive. Like, this is why when I come to places like this, like here, Thailand, other countries, is like I don't even have to think about it because like I'm used to chicks like yo clowning you or you a clown.
Yeah.
They be like it's basically like you're talking to a man. But here my success is like crazy. Also, and I'm kind of like a celebrity here.
Oh,
so that also influences it. But also like even before I was a celebrity here, like they were always open, friendly. And I feel like Kenyan women have like this special type of energy and it's like infectious. It's like it just brings you in. And like you want to spend time with her. Have you experienced that? Like you've been here for like the past 3 weeks. How would you explain like the energy that you feel when you're with women here?
Well, I want this to be about you, brother, but yeah, I'll chime in for a little bit. So there's a word in Spanish called cariñoso or cariñosa. It just means like to caress, to be affectionate. I guess being affectionate would be like the closest English translation. And yeah, these girls are always touching you. On a date, they're resting their head against you. They're touching your arm. They're holding your hand, kind of like, yeah, touching you, caressing you, I guess. Super affectionate, super feminine. There's no neck rolling going on here. And yeah, I found them like similar to Latinas in that way in terms of the femininity and the affection, the physical touch, and they're just friendly. Like if you had a girl, like a Kenyan girl, like act like, yo, why the fuck are you talking to me? Like you can't have this. Like you're you and I'm me. Like I'm better than you. Ever had it? I have never had that personally.
I probably like on 1 occasion, 2 occasions, but it's so rare out of like 1,000 approaches. Yeah, like I feel like if I'm gonna approach here, like 90% chance I'm gonna get the number.
Yeah.
And like the things like you don't even have to say much. Like you don't need no lines, you don't need no scripts. Like cause I do have a pickup background, so I know about like lines, all that. You can just really go to a girl and say, hey, I think you're beautiful, I think you're pretty, I think you're cute. My name is, what's your name? And they're gonna give you a name. And from there it's like a normal conversation. It's not like you have to keep the conversation there, engage you like, oh hey, so what are you doing here? Where are you from? Oh, you're from the States? What state is that? Like, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like,
do you feel like we get that reaction because we're foreigners? Or do you feel like they're friendly to Kenyan men too?
Okay, so I have a lot of experience about this because I've done a lot of interviews. Okay, so they kind of have the same dynamic that like Black American men have with Black American women. So you know how like Black American men, they're always arguing like, oh, they're like, the girls are like, oh, y'all ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. And then the girls like, oh, y'all gold diggers. They have the same thing. Like women are always saying, we're more open to dating foreigners because the foreigners are romantic and all that. But I stick with the brothers like, there's not a lot of jobs in Kenya. Like you can't have them spoil you because they always saying like they're gold diggers, but they be asking for a lot. But they be like this. Oh, the women are gold diggers, what the guys say. And then the girls say the guys are broke. But every country I've been to, it's been some type of dynamic of that. Like, especially the women who deal with foreigners, they're always going to be like, yeah, I like foreigners. So they're going to talk shit about their men because they prefer that. Just like, okay, we're Americans. Hey, I like dating African women. You like dating Latinas. I don't care. I'm not discriminating against American women, but like, I prefer to date African women. It's the same thing.
And if they prefer affluent men, what do they consider affluent in terms of like a monthly USD income?
Okay, so I've done a couple interviews. They said like one girl specifically gave me a direct amount, $1,500 a month, $1,500. Because like remember, Kenya's fairly cheap. Like unless you're trying to live a life like us, where we're going to like fancy restaurants all the time, you could do $1,500 to $3,000. You're gonna be living like a good life here, especially if you're not in the city like Nairobi.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the English, what do you think? I'll give my thoughts on a bit. So the main language here is Swahili. There's also some tribal language, Kikuyu. I'm probably saying this wrong or whatever, but everyone here does speak English, but to varying degrees. Talk a little bit about that. Any language barrier? Have you ever had like difficulty understanding them? I know it ranges quite a bit.
All right, so I'll break it down. So they have 2 official languages. It's actually Swahili and English because they was colonized by the British. And what you mentioned is every tribe has their own language too. But as far as East Africa, Kenya has the most English proficiency that I experienced. It's probably Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, then like Rwanda, from the countries I've been to. Like everybody here pretty much speaks English. Like sometimes you might have to speak a little bit slow because like, we're Americans, so you're like saying stuff and you're dropping syllables, all that. But if you talk like this, they will understand you. In a lot of other countries, that's such a benefit. Like you don't have to learn Spanish. even though Ninange Kiswahili Kidogo Kidogo, like you don't have to do that. Like, and that's one of the benefits that I love Kenya. You can literally, it's like the perfect landing spot if it's your first time in Africa. That's why we wanted you to come here, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll change the topic a little bit, and then I wanna come back to that. Let's just be honest here. I don't know how the best way I can phrase this, but a lot of black girls in America have a very peppery personality, right? It's not like that here. Actually, I would say they have a little bit of, in a sweet feminine way, they can be a little bit like sharp-tongued here as well. Like, I remember one girl that I video called her, and I said, what's your Instagram? She's like, well, I'll send you more photos of mine, but I don't have Instagram. I was like, how come nobody here has Instagram? She goes, don't say that. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, don't say people here don't have Instagram. Say the other girls that you're talking to on Bumble don't have Instagram. And I'm like, oh, shit. So, but they do it very, very sweet. It is like a night and day difference. They cannot be compared to American black women in general. I mean, American women in general, but black women, same thing. And then we were talking about English. Yeah, I would say the same thing, but like the places that you tend to go and hang out, like we were at the polo game. Was it yesterday or? Yes, that was a long day. Yes, that was a night. Yeah. Holy, we do a whole video about that night.
Yeah.
But we were at the polo game, and most of these chicks went to international school. They went to international school, or for whatever reason, they just, from a higher class, and their English is damn well as good as ours.
Yeah. Like, this is what I'll say about Kenyan women and Kenyans in general. They're very, very worldly. They're curious about the world. So, like, you can come here and they'll be up to date on a lot of topics. Like, you'll come here, they know all the slang, they know all the things that we talk about in America, but they're also up what's going on in the UK. They know what's going on in Korea. Like, it's a very, very curious society. Like, they're not like there's very closed off societies. I'm not going to mention any names, but like, they're not curious about the world. All they care about is what's going on in their country. So if you're looking for like women more intelligent, witty,
yes,
with nice personalities, even though they can be sassy, it's sassy in a way that's endearing. It's not sassy like it's combative, like, oh, we're always arguing about this bullshit. Nah.
It's nothing like American combativeness. It's cute. It's actually like just, because you don't want to get bored, right? Like everybody loves a feminine woman, but most of us at least don't want like a complete slave robot. You want her to like, come back a little bit.
Can I give one example, right?
Sure, yeah, go for it. Yeah, tell some story, any stories you want about dating, whatever.
Yeah, so people talk about like women being submissive, but I had a bunch of submissive women, and these are slave queen. I'm talking about a slave queen that was submissive to me.
By the way, he said that earlier too. We're in this restaurant, Slate, right now. You guys can't see it. It's one of the most fancy restaurants here, and I guess Slate Queen are like the really beautiful girls. I mean, let's face it, some of them may have sponsors that come here. We're talking about like the ass on stilts. It's basically like a 9 or 10 girl that's probably taken care of that comes here. That's a Slate Queen.
Yeah, so they are the baddies of baddies. So
beautiful.
You would assume that they're not going to be submissive because they got sponsors and all that. Can I tell you, the first girl who ever cleaned my shoes for me was a slave queen here in Kenya.
Damn, they cleaned your shoes for you?
Like literally like
unheard of.
I almost cried.
Nobody back home has a story about a girl that cleaned their shoes for them. They're super sweet. I would say they're almost like, I wouldn't say almost. They're super clingy, but like in a sweet, endearing way. Like they fall in love quick.
Yeah.
And they really like to get into relationships. I was telling you were telling me it was a bad translation from Swahili to English, but I was with a girl on our first date. Things became intimate, and she told me during the act of intimacy that she loves me. But you were just saying that in Swahili, the word for like, oh, I really like you would be love, and they're not like a direct translation for I like you.
Yeah, but in Swahili, there's no word for like. Yeah. There's only kupenda, which means to love someone. Yeah, so when somebody says nakupenda, that means I love you. It doesn't, like if you say I like you, it's not going to really make sense. You can't say it in their language. So usually how the language, it forms your thoughts. So as soon as they say like nakupenda, they're saying I love you. So that means they're instantly in a relationship. In Africa in general, every country I've been to, relationships spring up quick. Like if you date a girl, even you go on a date with like three dates, y'all in a relationship.
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah.
It's the craziest thing. Like you assume like, nah, you got to make it official. Like, no, you're my boyfriend now.
Mm-hmm. And they clean your shoes. What else? Do you have any other stories too? I know they cook. Austin said that, our friend Austin, shout out Austin Holloman, says that he's had girls cook for him all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they generally just want to take care of their man. That's why I said there's a very like a very similar thing to with Latina women in terms of like catering the man, want to take care of him. They don't, they want the man to lead and they accept his lead.
Yeah, like in general, I feel like in Africa, like they want to take care of their man, especially here in Kenya. So like even if a girl can't cook, like I have girls take me to like fancy restaurants like here, and they pay the bill for me.
Damn.
Like
Slave queens, girls with money.
yeah, like a slave queen. You would consider her a slave queen, and she took me to a fancy restaurant and she paid the bill. Like how many girls are gonna in the States gonna take you to like Noble and pay the bill?
Zero,
right?
Zero, absolutely.
And that's the thing that I love about it is like, even though there might not be submissive in a traditional way, like, oh, they're going to cook, clean, or whatever, they will go out of their way to do stuff. Like, they will hire somebody to wash your clothes if they don't feel like washing your clothes. Like, it's little things like that. It's like, damn, like, they really want to appreciate you. Yeah. And, like, one girl always said, like, yeah, I might not be the most submissive, but I will take care of my man.
They're so adorable. I'll just, like, quick stories, like, without even getting into too many details, just, like you said, very quickly they want to be in relationships with you. They're unbelievably sweet, unbelievably affectionate, always kissing. They had a lot of touching, things like that. And I don't know, it just seems like they would be really, really good, like, girlfriends. They definitely, again, I make a lot of comparisons with Latinas, but they definitely like to do cardio indoors, if you get what I'm saying. They definitely like to do indoor cardio, maybe they do it at the gym. Before we were talking about approaching girls and stuff like that, let me flip the script a little bit. I've seen you be approached at least 2 or 3 times. And sometimes it's because they recognize you and sometimes it's because they don't.
Yeah.
How many times have you been approached by American women in your whole fucking goddamn life? A girl just comes up and says, yo, you're handsome. That's why I'm talking to you. What's up? Who are you?
I'm not going to lie. I've been approached by American women before, but it pales in comparison to how many times I've been approached in Kenya.
But like your whole life in America is like equal or less than 1 month here or something like that, right? Or a few months.
Yeah, probably the 2 months that we've been here, since I've been in Kenya right now, this trip, I got approached way more than I got approached in the States. Like it's to the point where it's like, they're gaming you.
Yes.
Like, they're like, oh, damn. Like they have you seen the wingman when the girl said to her wingman to come talk to me?
Well, okay. Yeah. So, I thought was that sorry. Yeah. Right? That time?
Yeah. Like they be having like, I'm pretty sure they had to study pickup or something. Cause like, even the one that happened with Austin, like she came and gamed him up. Like she said to the wingman, oh, my girl want to go talk to you, blah, 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 blah. Like these shits have game. This is the part that I like about it. Cause it's not like you have to carry the whole conversation. If a chick is feeling you, it's like a breeze. Like, okay, yesterday we was at the polo club, like, and a girl, I'm not gonna leave out some details, but yeah, she basically took over the conversation because I wasn't even doing it like that. Like, I was contributing 20% and she was contributing 80%. Like, how many times are you gonna experience that in other places in the world? Like, you got a pretty girl that is beautiful, nice body, and she's gaming you.
This is the initial stages you're talking about.
The initial stages.
Yeah, because don't misunderstand him. Some of you guys are thinking, oh, girls always do most of the talking. Girls never shut up. I would wish my girl would shut up. That's when she's your girl. That's later on. He's talking about the initial stages of like carrying the conversation in the early part of a pickup. Usually in pickup, they call it like the 90-10 rule because usually the guy does 90% of the talking and the girl does 10. Yeah, and this is the girl that you left with last night?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she was bad. Yeah.
Good shit. Come to Kenya.
Yeah. Man, okay, I want to ask you something else. So, mostly cold approach, not a lot of dating apps here. I've used dating apps. They're pretty good, but definitely I think it's more of a cold approach, in-person type city.
I mean, I feel like this is how it is. Like, I say in Nairobi, you could design your lifestyle. Because, like, right now, I don't even touch my apps. Like, I have, like, plus 400 matches on Tinder and Bumble. But I don't even need to do that because cold
400 plus.
Bro, I told you.
Yeah, and I'm just emphasizing it. I just don't want them to go in one ear. Yeah, when you got girls coming up to you and a 90% success rate when you go talk to them, who needs a fucking app anyway? And you can just start shit. But I always say apps are more effective in like more difficult cities. Cities where the women are very receptive, where they're very open, where they're even then sometimes proactive, like they're proactively pursuing you. You don't need dating apps nearly as much. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and also I feel like with dating apps, the baddest chicks are never on the dating apps because they don't need to be on the dating apps because like they usually already got dudes. They got their social circles. The richest dudes are always approaching them. So like I use dating apps as like a backup. I like cold approaching. Like, and plus I feel like
and you're good at it. You're good. You're really good at it too.
I appreciate it, bro. I feel like when you're cold approach, that's how you get the vibe of the city faster. Because, like, that's when you're going to meet the chicks. Okay, you go to this high-end restaurant, you poach, like, 3 or 4 chicks. Oh, now you know the vibe. Okay, are they gold diggers? Are they feeling you? Like, is this my type of city? I can figure that out in a week by cold approaching for a couple of days. Don't you do the same thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I, like, when I was in Brazil, in like, a difficult city like Sao Paulo, I had to do, focus more on online. I try to do cold approach, and like I said, I do feel like you get the vibe of the city like that, better. But when I was in another city in Manaus with Austin, we just would troll the malls all day long. Like the mall was our pickup lab. Like we would just, like day game at the mall all day long. I had one other question for you. Have you ever had a gold digger problem here? Like girls that just clearly wanted you to be their sponsor or weren't trying to let you, let's say, do anything for you unless you did something for them first type thing, or has that been pretty much non-existent here?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The slave queens are out here, and if you're not up to par, they're gonna get at you. But me, I haven't really had that problem. But also, I've been living in Africa for damn near like 2 years plus, so I kind of know the signs already. I can filter that out. Because when I lived in Tanzania, I had that problem. Like, oh yeah. Because, like, when they see you, especially, like, when I was in Tanzania, it was like, okay, this guy is rich. And you will have arguments with girls telling you, like, you are rich. But relatively, you are rich because you make, like, $31,000 here in sub-Saharan Africa. You're in the top 3% of earners. That's $31,000. That's, like, the average salary in America.
In a year, yeah. So you'd be top 3% at 31. So 50, 60, 70K, you'd easily be top 1%.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. So... and a lot of guys are worried about that. Okay, yeah, the slave queen, they're going to get at you. They're going to, because this is what I hear on my channel all the time. You're going to go broke. Nah, if you have game, you can succeed. That's why you need to build yourself up. Like a lot of guys are looking for an easy path. Now, if you go overseas, is everything easier? Yeah, you get a boost. Like you get a stat boost. Like if you play the RPG and go, you get a boost. Yeah, like Sonic, you get the, what's that thing called that Sonic used to jump on?
The spring or the
yeah, like when he hit that computer and he used to get the fucking
I don't know, the computer. Oh, I don't know, like the faster shoes. Anyway, we would get it.
Okay, Mario with the magic.
You make the mushroom or the star. Yeah.
So you get the magic star, so you get a boost, but you still have to know how to play the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I always recommend dudes to always work on yourself. Like you should always be improving. Like my man here. Like one of my weaknesses, honestly, is like even though I'm a social media figure. Being here with Casey, like, and seeing, like, his IG is like, damn, I need to really step my junk up. Like, seeing you, like, that, damn, like, so, like, you need to work on stuff like that. Work on your mouthpiece, work on your charisma.
Be at the gym.
Being in the gym. And, like, if you come to a place like here or Tanzania or Thailand, it's going to be shooting fish in a barrel. Because we come from one of the hardest dating markets in the world, the United States. So, here it's like, okay, it's like, you take the weights off. You be like, Ron.
Yeah. It's like you're wearing a weight vest and you take it off. Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot. Did I go on a tangent and not answer the question?
What was the question even? Oh, the gold digger problem. So you basically said like a few slave queens and a few girls have tried you to get at your money, but for the most part, no.
No, I'm a vet now.
Yeah.
But if you're new, you might encounter that. But like, it takes you a while to adapt to it. It takes you like a little while to adapt to it because you can see the signs. You're going to see the signs. They're always in the club. If a girl's always in the club and she always want to meet you in the club,
same shit. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. And like for me, for my 2 cents, I'm a Mzungu, even for a white guy. That means just white in Swahili. They call me, hey, Mzungu. I hear that all the time. Like when I'm in a restaurant, they're like, oh, they say, bring the bill for the Mzungu. I can hear them like say that in Swahili. Even for me, I don't like attract a whole bunch of gold diggers. I've been approached here. No girl has even remotely tried to use me as a cash register. I've only made it for 3 weeks. I'm sure if I stayed out here longer, I would experience that. And I think, in all societies that, I said this to you, I don't know if you were in the car, I talk about this with Austin and other people all the time. Assuming you're not a fat schlub, you're not a weird, unconfident, very meager man. So again, you have some semblance of a charismatic, strong personality, and you've got some semblance of being like remotely good looking, not gross to touch, in shape. Assuming you have those things in check, then I think money is the greatest multiplier if you know how to use it correctly. Never leading with it directly, but You can set up situations, get into events where like even the polo game, right? That was a classy thing, right? Pay a little money to get in there.
Yeah.
Bottle service, all that. Of course, out here, what was that bottle service? That was like 50,
Like,
60 bucks.
Yeah, like $60.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, yeah, Kenya's an amazing place. We're gonna wrap it up here. Anything you wanted to throw in at the end, Bobby?
oh yeah, man. Like, this is my favorite country in the world, but it is also still Africa. And if you want to come to Africa, you're gonna need some guidance, because Africa is a different place. You can experience that.
One of his girls calling right now.
Yeah, so Africa is a different place. So you want to come out here, you want to have a network, you want to meet up with like-minded people. You can link up with your boy, holla at me. I have everything you would need. You can come talk to me. But yeah, I just appreciate Casey for me on his channel, because like this is a great
pleasure.
place right here, man.
My pleasure.
This guy is
Yeah.
on it.
Like, you guys have no idea what the hell M-Pesa is. That's like their version of Zelle or Cash App. You'll be lost here. You don't know where to stay. You don't know where the good places are, where the few gold digging places or places where the paid girls are. And all type, it can be dangerous. Or you could just stay in a neighborhood that has like insanely bad traffic. It's far away from the nightlife spots. It's far away from the gyms and stuff. So It's Kid Greatness is your channel, correct? And we're going to have all your links, Instagram. What's better, to reach out on Instagram? Is that the best way they can contact you?
Yeah, they gave me up on Instagram.
Okay, we'll have all the links in the description of the video. And thanks again, my guy. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, man. All right.